Today is May 5th, 2021. This is the Kubernetes CSI implementation meeting. We'll go down our usual agenda first, which is our release statuses. So I think the main thing we're wrapping up is 121 sidecar releases. I believe we just have external resizer left. And I believe Hamat is just working on the changelog. And so we should be able to cut that today. I think that's looking good. And I think we have released everything else that we were planning on releasing. Once this resizer is released, then we can go ahead and update the host path driver with all the new sidecars. I think that's it. And then, whoops.
For the host path, I still need to get one PR merged. I can post it in the chat. It's the one that I mentioned last on Monday.
Okay, is it also on the agenda?
It was
entry?
under PRs that need attention from Monday. Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, okay.
Sounds good.
Sorry, I was just looking at the resizer. The builds are failing on 121. Patrick, does your PR fixes that? You have two PRs.
Which one?
The 121 build looks to be failing consistently.
Yes,
yeah, it looks like there's
121 has two issues. One is the CSI release tools update is needed. There are pending PRs against all of the repos for that. And that's because the stable kind version can't provision clusters with Kubernetes 121. So as a workaround, until we have a new official kind release, we have to use the master or main version of kind. And that's what this CSI release tools update adds to the repos. That's the very basic thing about clusters not coming up. And then I noticed that the generic ephemeral volume test that now runs on Kubernetes 121 by default doesn't work with the latest stable CSI host path driver release that is used by the sidecars, because that release didn't set the client host name. And as a result, the test becomes flaky when Kubernetes picks the node on which the driver doesn't run. That affects the late binding tests. So these two things need to be fixed, and one is part of the pending PRs, the other is in the upcoming CSI host path driver release.
So Patrick, we can merge your release tool changes, right? Because I see you have some release tools changes that you submitted on snapshot. Looks like both are failing. Is that because of this? We're waiting for this host path change to be in, or how?
I think those tests are optional right now.
Yes.
All the 121 jobs are optional.
Okay,
so
we can just merge it.
Still merge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Then I'll just get this merged then. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'm just blocked on the release notes being merged, and yeah, then I'll cut the release. Sorry.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think I just had one really nitpicky comment on it, but other than that, I think it's ready to go. All right. So I think that's it for 121 tracking. Let's move on to 122. I have not had a chance to create a 122 board yet. I'll try to do that this week. Until then, I think we can just use the doc here to go over 122. The cap freeze or feature freeze is next Thursday. It's coming up really soon. So let's go down and get the status on a number of these items. First up is Windows. Is Jing on the line?
Yes. So can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So you want me
So
to
the
do-
main thing is next
Hmm.
Thursday is feature freeze, which means that we need to have our caps approved and merged by next Thursday in order for the
okay.
release team to start tracking the feature.
Okay.
So I think you mentioned that you had
Right.
have you opened the PR to update the
Right.
cap yet?
Yes. So I already had the PR. I'll put it here.
Sounds good. Next is CSI service account token. I actually have not been watching this, so I think I'll have to sync up with Shihong to see where this is at.
This is for Windows?
Oh, sorry, no, this is a different account or a different feature. CSI
Okay.
service account token. Okay, next up we have volume populators.
So I got SOD to review this and LGTM it and approve it. We're still waiting for Tim, but he responded back saying I'm in his queue. So I'm still hopeful that in the next 8 days or so we'll get the approval for the CUP. The code is the code for the upstream stuff has been sitting in 2 PRs since 3 months ago, and those are ready to merge whenever the CUP merges. And the out of tree stuff is in the same state it was last week. I haven't done releases yet, but I fixed most of the problems. Just need to do the alpha releases.
Okay, sounds good to me. Yeah, I also synced up with Tim as well. Yeah, he said it's on his queue.
Okay, thank you.
And he'll try to get to it soon. All right. Next is CSI migration. I think we're just turning things on by default, but I don't think any caps need to be updated for this. All right. So node shutdown. I think last time we decided we'll keep it as provisional.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going to update the cap and then I will pin you.
Okay, sounds good. Access modes. I took a look at the cap. It's looking good, although it's currently in provisional. I'll need to sync up with see what else is needed before we can change this to implementable. All right, next is expansion recovery.
I have to update the existing KPI. I was writing POC yesterday till and I feel confident about the workflow, but we need to have a call actually to discuss the design, and we could not discuss on Monday. So is there a time slot that works for at least people on this call? And yeah, and then I'll update the existing cap that is merged, but yeah.
Okay. At least, yeah, to schedule a meeting. Unfortunately, the next 2 days are not looking good for me. But if other people can make their tomorrow or Friday, I think that's fine. I can catch up on notes later. I think I think it's important that we get this discussion going since we're hitting very close to the deadline.
Yeah, tomorrow we have the COSI meeting at 1 to 2 p.m. and then 6 stories. If yeah, Ben, do you have like some time to Friday?
For
Okay.
for the expansion thing.
Yeah, and Zing.
Oh man.
This is for which one? Expansion
The
recovery?
recovery. Yeah, I
Okay.
think I
Well-
would talk about both actually, recovery and copying of a low volume field. Low volume field is just shorter, but still, yeah.
We could
Yeah.
do like 3 o'clock or 4.
Are you talking about what time? Your
Eastern.
time. Oh, okay. We're all actually, we're all Eastern. Huh.
Yeah.
You're all
If
Eastern.
I don't
Surprising.
need to be in the meeting, you can have it earlier if you like.
We'll do it in the morning. Well, anyway, yeah. So, what time you're saying? What time you're proposing on Friday?
3 o'clock.
Oh,
Is
3
it okay
o'clock.
with
I
you?
have another meeting at 3 o'clock, but I can do it before or after.
4 o'clock.
Yeah, that works for me.
At 4 o'clock on a Friday is a little late, but yeah, we can do it.
We can.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
I have a dentist appointment for my son in the morning in 4 o'clock.
Oh,
Sorry, on
okay.
Friday. So, but 4 o'clock I'll be back and should be ready for at least. Yeah.
You can also add me if I will see whether I can join.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is yeah.
4 o'clock will be, I think, 1 o'clock your time, right? Or 2 o'clock.
Yeah, that should work.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. That's expansion. Then we have FS group.
I think we talked about like updating the merged cap, and I have not done it. So there's no changes in the language. I just need
Correct.
to.
It's just updating the release target. That's it.
Yeah, I will do it today. Shouldn't take long. Yeah, I'll do it.
Cool. Sounds good. And then secrets to node expansion. We're not tracking that this cycle. The allow
Yeah.
volume expansion, I think you mentioned we're going to target this.
Yeah, we'll talk on Friday, and we're targeting it. And
Hey,
you talked.
do we need to add this to the tracking, and there is this enhancement the tracking sheet? Do we need one? Do we need to add this one as one item?
All right. This is something I think we should follow up with the enhancements group because this is sort of part of the overall resize feature, right? It's a little weird to track it as like
Separate.
another feature, but it is like we may or may not need like another feature gate for it. So
Okay.
because
so
it
we
is
don't have to
changing the
go through
API.
Just
Okay.
should we like I don't know how to approach that. Just I'll ping SIG release and maybe keep some.
There's I think in Slack there's actually an enhancements channel. Either enhancements channel or we can talk to SIG release and just be like, what is the sort of cutoff for something requiring an enhancement versus not?
Okay, I will ping them. Let me add it to do for myself.
Cool, thank you. But yeah, like I would kind of imagine like this should fall under just the resize enhancement that we have in general. But yeah, good to follow up.
Okay.
All right. Next up is the PV deletion policy change. I think the CAP is in progress. Is that correct? Is there a PR open or still working on it?
Yeah, my coworker is working on it. Working in progress.
Okay.
He has done some investigation and working on the CAP. So
Okay.
hoping to get that out later this week.
Sounds good. All right. And then the default file mode for atomic writer volumes, I think a cap is out. And Haman, I saw you and Jan were reviewing that. Do you have any major concerns?
Yeah, I think I left a comment. I think that it does preserving is not enough. So what they're saying is that we will just skip a volume permission change, set volume ownership function. But that means that if the pod is not running as root, then the secret will not be accessible to the container. Actually, I did a POC. I just started Kubernetes. I just commented out that code that set volume ownership and secret, and then I created a pod with run as user and FS group, and the pod could not access the secret.
Yeah, so I think maybe one thing we should maybe look at is the work that was done to set the file mode and ownership for projected volumes.
Yeah.
They, they had some sort of like, like sequence. Like if this is set, if user is set and FS group is set, then do this. Or if it's not set, then do that. And they are able to infer what the correct user to set as the owner on. Like I imagine for this, we could do something similar. We're just kind of expanding what was done for projected volumes, but to other volume types like secrets and config maps.
So we have to expand like the projected one. We added FS user and started CH owning files with FS user, and we don't do that for secrets and other stuff. So, but that stuff is not covered in KEP. So maybe the KEP should update itself, and it needs to apply FS user to the volumes.
Mm-hmm.
And that will work, but as it is written, the language of the KEP is unimplementable, I think.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. I would maybe go back on to the KEP and ask the author to like kind of take a look at what we did for projected volumes and maybe start with that as like a model for what we should do here.
Yeah, that sounds fine. I can add a comment there for that one as well there. It seems to be stuck after that, so yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. I think this is all of the items that we're targeting. Is there anything else that someone's working on that we forgot about that should be on this list?
I just went over the one that we added to the enhancement sheets. They are all here, except Cozy that we are tracking differently.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and also there is the what is the Matt has one, but that's also the one with SIG apps, right? That one.
Yeah.
So everything else is here.
Okay.
He's getting
Sounds
close, right?
good.
His is just need to be reviewed. I remember last time it was almost ready.
Yeah, the implementation was there, but I think we weren't able to get enough reviewers in time. So I think,
okay.
Yeah.
Cap was merged, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's
the cap
good.
Was merged, and I think cap. Matt did update the cap because there was some like API review feedback. So he updated the cap with like the latest API proposal.
Okay. But that doesn't need. Does that also need this deadline or no? Does that need...
I think it should. But it's under SIG apps to actually
right?
approve it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Sounds good. All right. I think, and then going back to PRs that need attention, I think it's mostly Patrick has a number of things here related to our tests and release infrastructure. I think I'll try to find some time to take a look at this. But if anyone else has time and can get to it first, that's also fine.
The CSI driver host path one, that's the most important one.
Okay.
I also might have another one. There was a long-standing request that the host path driver should support deployment on clusters where the kubelet directory is not valid kubelet. But some people have clusters like that, and the driver, like any other CSI driver that hard codes that path, then fails because driver registration basically doesn't work. And in our kind cluster testing, we were thinking at some point that it would be useful to use a non-default path, because that then enables cleaning up loop devices that are left behind or might be left behind by the host path driver. And I think I'll try, it's a one-line change essentially. I think I'll try to get that in, which will be another PR against the CSI driver host path.
Okay.
So if it's in this release, we can do some experiments in Kubernetes going forward.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Any other topics that anyone wants to discuss? All right, then we'll end for today. Thanks.
Thank you.